What's happening, people? We are here. We are live. Big up to everyone locked in on this very unusually quiet joke. It's not quiet because there's always some shit happening in the world of Manchester United. Big up to everyone locked in. Be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe. Just quickly before we kind of get into it, I am giving away FC25. I'm giving away two codes to FC25 on PS5. Yeah, so if you're on PS5 and you want to win a code for FC25 Ultimate Edition, which means if you play Ultimate Team, you get the 4,600 FIFA points, go over to my Twitter. And enter the competition. The competition ends tomorrow, I think, at 5 p.m. So you got 24 hours to enter it. So make sure you enter if you're into gaming. Listen, this game costs I think 90 quid. That's all I have to say. Shout out to EA Sports for giving me the codes to give away to the community. I always appreciate it. Big up to everyone locked in. We got a lot to talk about because Benni McCarthy has been talking. Erik Ten Hag has been talking. The dressing room has been talking. Everybody has been talking. Why are they talking instead of focusing on the Porto game tomorrow? Big up to Javed in the chat. Big up Redwan. Big up to Alomba. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. Guys, my mouse is not working. So I have to use the touchpad on my laptop. And I hate it. I just hate it. But anyways, let's get into it. Because today's Champions League football, guys, I was watching Arsenal versus PSG yesterday, right? And in the second half, and not even just the second half, even in the first half, I saw some patterns of similarity between the way Arteta set up Arsenal in defense in this kind of 4-2-4, 4-4-2. And the space between the forwards and the midfield is very compact. They were able to defend very comfortably. Not aside from the fact that I thought PSG were quite poor in the first half. And then I went back and watched clips from the Spurs game, and I just look at the same defensive mechanisms for Manchester United, and you see how big the gap is between the midfield and the front line. It's ridiculous. It's actually really, really bad. How was the game yesterday? It was good. I just like going to watch football anywhere I can. The next game I'm probably going to go to is a QPR game, hopefully. And it's on my bucket to go watch a Watford game. I want to go watch a Watford Championship game. But listen, let's get into it. Because like I said, everyone's been talking. Erik Ten Hag's been talking. Benni McCarthy's been talking. Everyone in the dressing room has been talking. Everyone's talking, and everyone's got something to say, which I think is a bad image on Manchester United right now, and how things look. Are you suggesting Erik Ten Hag should learn from Arteta? I think he could learn a thing or two. Manchester United went to Arsenal and took their medical team. We should have took their set piece coach. Do you guys see what they do during set pieces? They're running plays like it's basketball. They're running plays they're literally running offensive plays like it's the NFL, and they're treating the set piece like it's the quarterback with the ball. You got them huddled up together. They're saying stuff to each other. One person goes to the touchline to get their instruction. What is it? Then they're putting up a number, they're putting up their hands, doing signs, which obviously correlates back to a play that they've probably practiced in the training ground. Bang, cash money. They've scored the most goals in the Premier League from set pieces since last season, and they've continued it into the Champions League. I think Erik Ten Hag could learn a thing or two. I just don't get how Manchester United went to Arsenal and they'll walk away with their set piece coach and instead took their medical team. But that's a conversation for another day. Listen, like I said, Erik Ten Hag has been talking to Sky Sports ahead of Manchester United's fixture against Porto. It's going to be an interesting one as well because Manchester United are travelling to Porto this afternoon, I think actually right now, and they will be having their press conference ahead of the game at 7 p.m. local time, so it'll be about 6 p.m. UK time, so just before Champs. Am I the only one that wishes that Erik Ten Hag wasn't speaking to media today? I mean, Sky Sports. Sky Sports released the interview. Obviously, it was filmed after the Spurs loss because they spoke about the Spurs loss. And he said some confident stuff, kind of backing himself as per usual. He always does this. He backs himself. He said, I've won 8 trophies in 6 years. It's not about winning. It's not. He's saying, I'm not worried about winning because I've won 8 trophies in 6 years. And then you look at the flip side of what Benni McCarthy has to say about Erik Ten Hag. And this is a guy that's clearly been close to him. And you think about the things that are coming out from Andy Mitten, from other Manchester United reporters. And I'm kind of understanding the kind of logic surrounding everything with Erik Ten Hag right now. But just quickly on what Erik Ten Hag had to say during his Sky Sports interview. If you haven't watched it, I'd actually encourage you not to watch it. I would actually encourage you not to watch it. I actually wish I didn't watch it, personally. I wish I did not. I wish I did not watch it, but we're going to talk about it anyways. He went on to say it takes time. In the meantime, you have to win, and I think we have proven that in the last 2 years. I have proven in my career I will always win. In the last 6 years, I have won 8 trophies, and we have to integrate the game model. We have to build a stronger team than the one we have today, and we have to work on our problems and provide solutions. We have good potential, and I'm sure that we will achieve the goals we have set. Now, it's interesting because, like I said, Erik ten Hag, when his back is against the wall, he will come out and back himself. And you know what? Rightfully so. If your back is against the wall, you come out, you talk your shit, you back yourself. He went on to talk about what things were like before he arrived and what things are like now, i.e. with the new structure in place. He said, as soon as I arrived, we made choices. We had to replace some older players and recruit new ones. We chose young players, and you know what it takes? Time to get this message across, to get the game model adopted, and to introduce a new culture, which also takes time. Now, despite all this information he's providing us in this interview, news has come out this morning from the Mirror that Erik ten Hag knows that his next 2 games will decide his fate, despite the fact that some reporters are suggesting that the Manchester United hierarchy back him. Now, I've made this very, very clear time and time again. After the defeat to Liverpool, the interview with Omar Barada and Dan Ashworth came out with The Athletic. And in that article, if you lot remember, they did their very best to distance themselves from the decision that was made to keep Erik ten Hag. Now, we've seen names flying about over the last couple of days, and can I just say, this will probably be what it's like until either Manchester United kind of solidify their model and they start winning games, or until Erik ten Hag is sacked. We are going to just keep hearing about the potential managers that could be in for the new job, how long Erik ten Hag might have left in his job. This will be the topic of discussion throughout the next week or 2, and especially with the international break coming up over the weekend, or after the weekend, sorry, it's only going to get worse, guys. All we're going to hear every single day is journalists saying this manager's in for the job, this manager's in for the job, etc., etc. So I will say take all the information with a pinch of salt. Don't take it so literal. But there are some names that we've seen flying around. I've seen the Bournemouth manager's name flying around. I've seen Ruben Amorim's name flying around. I've seen Inzaghi's name flying around. The Southgate claims, and Melissa Reddy actually came out this morning and said that Manchester United reportedly are very aware about how the fan base feels about the idea of Gareth Southgate. Now, I'm not going to lie, guys. From what Ineos want to build, I get why they look at Gareth Southgate as a potential option, because they look at what Gareth Southgate has done with the England structure. Of course, Dan Ashworth worked very closely with him as well in the England structure, where Dan Ashworth essentially came in with Southgate to harmonize the national team. It was such a disfranchised national team. He came in, and their goal was solely just to make it a happy home, and they succeeded with that, and that ended up leading to Gareth Southgate taking England to 2 finals back-to-back Euros finals, relatively successful World Cups in the eyes of England. So on paper, from those aspects, I get it. I think they want someone who can be a coach. You look at what Andy Mitten has suggested about Erik ten Hag, and you look at what, Benni McCarthy has said, and both of them have kind of alluded to this idea that Erik ten Hag does not take on any kind of feedback from his coaching staff. Benni McCarthy spoke about it in his interview yesterday, where he basically said any advice or tips, etc., to change things up is not really received well from Erik ten Hag. And Andy Mitten has suggested that as well, that right now the close people within Erik ten Hag's structure, I'm talking about the assistant coaches, don't really get a say in the decisions that are made. And I don't know if you guys watch during the games, especially when they kind of pan to the bench. Ruud van Nistelrooy is never, I don't know, I just noticed it recently, but Ruud van Nistelrooy is never standing next to the manager, like having a conversation with him, blah, 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 saying blah, 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 all of that stuff. He's always standing, especially when United are playing at home. There's that wall with the Man United emblem. He's always standing with his back against it like this. Or he's sitting on the stairs of leading up to the bench. He's never actually standing with the manager. And this is obviously me just going off of the couple of times that they panned to the bench during the game. But I think that is also quite telling. I think if multiple journalists are suggesting that Erik ten Hag does not take information or feedback or suggestions from his coaching staff often, I mean, he let his second in command go. So I can understand that. But even if it's coming from Benni McCarthy himself, it's very interesting what Benni McCarthy actually had to say. And I'm actually going to bring it up. He said, this is exactly what he said. He said, tactically, I feel like Erik is at the top. He lacks a bit of fire, a bit of passion. That's where we differ. He's talking about he's talking about how they're quite different. He spoke about obviously the players as well. And you guys know how I feel. He said, he went on to say, by the way, in modern football, I believe that players want to see a bit more passion in their coach. They need to feel that the coach is with them and willing to fight alongside them. Now, I can only go off of what I've kind of interactions I've had with coaches in women's football, but they've shared the same sentiment. I interviewed Man United's former assistant manager from the women's team, Martin Ho, who's now a manager in Norway. And when we spoke about coaching styles, he basically said to me, it's easier. You can come with your tactics. He said, you can come with your philosophy. You can come with the style of football. But he said, in order to basically get people to buy into it, to get players to buy into what you're selling them, you need to be likable. You need to have a personality. You need to connect with the players. And then he said, the better the relationship you have with all your players, and just on a professional basis, of course, he said, players are more likely to run, like they will do anything for you on the pitch. They will die for you on the pitch. And you can think about like the greatest teams that have existed in modern football, right? You can look at Pep's Barcelona. You can look at Jose's team in Porto. You could talk about Sir Alex Ferguson's Manchester United team. You could talk about Jose's teams at Chelsea. You could talk about, to an extent, Wenger. You could talk about Pep right now at City. Yeah, players will go above and beyond for that manager. And do you guys ever wonder why is that the case? Why is that the case? Now, I've always said I don't like to talk about managers' personalities and their character, blah, 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 because I'm only going off of what we see at face value, right? But I think that this is another big part. You can apply this in kind of any aspect, I think, in life. Whether you work in a corporate world, you can work as a teacher, you can work in a hospital. If you have a likable manager, you're more likely to turn up to work every single day and not be happy to work, but you'll be happy to be in that environment of your workspace. If you like your manager and you like your staff and you like the people that you work with, I think that is definitely the case. Let me see what you guys are saying. Rude and Casemiro look to have a very interesting conversation last match. It's always Rude having conversation with players, even after the game. I don't know if you guys realize, a lot of the time it is Ruud van Nistelrooy that's going around speaking to people. Now, of course, he's one guy that's kind of touted for the job potentially if Erik ten Hag leaves. The only way I see Ruud van Nistelrooy becoming the manager of Manchester United is on an interim basis, personally. I don't think, and this is just me going off of my opinion. Now, I do think it's clear he's a good coach. He's done good stuff with PSV. But I also think that Manchester United shouldn't hurry into a decision like this. If Erik ten Hag was to leave Manchester United, if Erik ten Hag was to part ways with Manchester United, then I would be happy with oh shit, I just slapped my mic. Sorry guys if that caused a problem for your ears. But I would be happy with Manchester United keeping Ruud as an interim and not making any rash decisions when it comes to a manager. Now, bear in mind, a lot of the people that are listed as potential candidates to be a manager of Manchester United, they are all people in coaching jobs right now. They all work at teams. They all have a job. So it's not going to be as straightforward as that. Do I think Erik ten Hag is going to turn it around? I don't know. I genuinely don't know, because for me, I'm at a point now where it's so difficult for me to buy into whatever it is Erik ten Hag is trying to sell. It's like them people that stop you on the street saying, hey, do you want to smell this perfume? Do you want to buy? It's hard for me to buy into it. It's very, very difficult for me to buy into it. Now, just on the topic of Ruud van Nistelrooy, reportedly Ruud has impressed senior Manchester United figures in their one-to-one encounters since returning to the club, as well as being a popular person amongst the team. Now, the reason why I always said that bringing Ruud van Nistelrooy into the role was a good idea was because he can connect with players, I think, in a way that probably other assistant coaches or the manager can't. It doesn't matter who's the manager. It doesn't matter who's the manager. I think as an assistant, being a former player is one thing, right? Because you know what the players have been through. But being a former player of that club, and dare I say it, one of the greatest strikers that have played for Manchester United, players are going to look at you like, I'm going to listen to this guy. I'm going to listen to this guy. And I feel like that was the same with Ollie. Do you guys remember with Ollie? You know, he had Rashford flying, Martial flying, Greenwood flying. Everybody seemed to like each other in that dressing room. I feel like Ollie was a likable guy in the team because he had quite a lot of stuff, in common. Why do people like to message me when I'm on stream? I don't get it. I need to start turning my phone off. But yeah, I feel like as a former manager, it's a lot more easier for people to buy into whatever it is you're selling, and they'll listen to you. They'll listen to what you have to say. They'll take your advice serious. Now, the thing that we've heard the most, unfortunately, about Erik ten Hag is there a pre-match conference today. It's at 7 p.m. UK, 7 p.m. local time, which is 6 p.m. UK time. But I was going to say, the unfortunate thing for Erik ten Hag is that even when he was interviewing for the Spurs role, do you guys remember when he was interviewing for the Spurs role, what came out between him and who is it that they ended up going with? Conte. I think Conte is the guy they ended up going with, but the reports coming out from the Spurs end wasn't about his tactical approach. It wasn't about his game model. They were really impressed by all of that. It was about his personality. It was about his personality. Second game of the season in Manchester United, we had to watch Sky Sports pundits rip into him about his character and his personality. And you look 3 seasons down, and the biggest topic of conversation is, I don't want to say the term aura, but it's the manner in which he presents himself, the way he speaks. Now, people might link this back to language, or the being bilingual or trilingual, etc. But I also think that sometimes as a coach, and I was having this debate yesterday, I was saying, as a coach, you look at Enzo Maresca, right? He's coming to Chelsea. No bullshit from day one. And I said this, I wouldn't mind having a manager like this if it doesn't disrupt the dressing room to a certain extent. The same manager who's saying, I don't want Raheem Sterling, I got no plans for Ben Chilwell, etc. The same manager saying all of this, you have other players that he's been working with who are propping him up in a in interviews. You have people like Malo Gusto saying, I appreciate the manager so much for pushing me, and blah, blah. You have Jadon Sancho, who's got a new lease of life, who's saying, oh, thank you so much to his manager because he is tough, but he gets the best out of his players. Like, I think there needs to be a balance of bad cop, good cop. And I don't know if you guys remember, you lot know I love a good article on The Athletic. About a month ago, we were going through, when Mitchell van der Gaag left Manchester United, I was sharing the article with you guys here. And we were talking about how reportedly in The Athletic suggested that dressing room sources said Mitchell van der Gaag and Erik ten Hag together were bad cop, bad cop. And that is an imbalance. That is a big, big imbalance. Are you saying his personality is affecting his tactics or impacting the football on the pitch somehow? I think it's not. I think it's maybe the way he's relaying it. At the end of the day, I'm not in the dressing room. I don't know how he's relaying tactics, but it's clearly something difficult for players to buy into because they're not buying into it. They are not buying into it. Or they probably just feel like it's a shit system. Now, I don't think Erik ten Hag is a bad manager. I'm going to be very honest, but I think his system is shit. I think his system is shit. I think excuse my language, I need to stop swearing, but I think his system is unrealistic to work in a Premier League. And I've said this quite a few times. I said that any system that requires 100% accuracy or 100% perfection, that is a flawed system, because there's no such thing as 100% perfection. There's going to be errors. And sometimes I feel like in Erik ten Hag's system, not even sometimes, most of the time, I feel like in Erik ten Hag's system and his game model, the errors that could occur are big errors. And why is that? Because the system is flawed. There cannot be such a big gap between the front 2 players or that are leading the press and the midfield. There cannot be a big gap between the midfield and the back line. The gaps between the kind of staggered lines of defense and offense just doesn't make sense to me. And I just personally, I don't know how long you can look at it and think, you know what, this is not going to work. I don't know, because I look at Erik ten Hag right now and I think his stubbornness, and I said this time and time again. By the way, guys, the likes are disgraceful right now. The likes are absolutely disgraceful. But I say this time and time again with Erik ten Hag. I don't know what it is that he sees in the football that United try to play that he thinks this is a good system. I don't know what he sees. And maybe it's because he might want it to work so badly. Maybe he wants it to work so badly that he's trying to stick with it and stick with it, stick with it. But for me, you have to identify when things are not working. And like I said, back in the Eredivisie at Ajax, you're under a lot less scrutiny. Sorry, but I know Ajax is a big team in Europe, and don't get me wrong, I know they are a big team in the history of a kind of European football, but you got less eyes on you in the Eredivisie. Manchester United is the talking point every single day. I was watching the build-up to PSG versus Arsenal, right? They're talking about Man United on there. Rio Ferdinand's talking about Man United on there. They're talking about Man United playing on the weekend in a Champions League build-up show. Manchester United will have you on the front pages of everything. And maybe in the Eredivisie, you're able to get away with that. Ajax lose 2-0 to a mid-table team. You might be able to get away with that. But at Manchester United, you're never going to be able to get away with that, unfortunately. Because Man United is a big club. And I think with Erik ten Hag, I feel like this notion that he said in his interview, I've won 8 trophies in 6 months, in 6 years. Okay, cool. You won 8 trophies in 6 years. But in your the third season at Manchester United, where do you expect to finish in the league? Because let's be honest, guys, if Manchester United were to continue at the rate that they're in right now, which is what? Winning a Premier League game and then drawing, losing, winning, drawing, losing, winning. United could lose like 17 games in the league. We could actually lose half of our games in the league. If Manchester, I don't know. If anyone's good with stats right now, go slap that into a data model and come back with the expectation. Come back with the expectation. But let me know in the chat, guys. I want to know how many of you guys think Erik ten Hag will turn it around. Let me know in the chat, because I've spoken to like a lot of my friends and family. Like there's people that I know that are United fans, and there is no one that I've spoken to that thinks Erik ten Hag is going to turn it around. There is nobody. And maybe I need to broaden my palette and speak to other people. I do see one or two people here and there online that believe he will turn it around. They have the faith. The difficult thing for me is the reason why I don't think he's going to turn it around, because I'm just going off of what history has shown for the last 18 months, right? Because even if we go back, and I was having this debate earlier today, even if we go back to Erik ten Hag's first season, right? We talk about the Carabao Cup run, etc. Do you guys remember what Man United were playing up, how they were playing leading up to the World Cup break? If you guys remember, we were going away to Ammonia and all these random people in Europa League, coming away with a 1-0 win. We were fighting against Fulham at Craven Cottage, bringing on Garnacho to win us the game. That run under Erik ten Hag in his first season is really defined by December to February. That is the period for me where Manchester United went on a phenomenal run, right? I think they were unbeaten for how long? There was a record in Erik ten Hag's first season where I think Man United hadn't even lost at home until towards the end of the season, I think it was. They had like 23 games at home and most of them were unbeaten. So for me, if we look at history, and that's why I say, just go through the history of what has happened over the last season and season. Man United haven't been consistently good across more than 3 months. And I'm sorry if you don't agree with me, let me know. Like, I always want to hear what you guys have to say in the chat. But for that run from December to beginning of March, that's when Man United were at their best under Erik ten Hag. Isn't that what we call new manager bounce? Isn't that what we call new manager bounce? Because since then, Man United have been poor. Every time I say last 18 months, I'm talking about from after the Carabao Cup. Nothing was the same after the Carabao Cup. I think Erik ten Hag sold his soul to win that trophy, because Liverpool came and slapped us 7-0. We got knocked out of Europe and we went on a ridiculous run of games. I remember we won against Everton somewhere in there. But from there on, I think was the downfall for Erik ten Hag. So The reason why I say I don't think he's going to turn it around, because I'm just going off of what history has shown us. And history has shown us that under Erik ten Hag, Manchester United, for consistency, have had a run of 3 months consistently good. And after that, it's not been the case. Big up to everyone. I want to go through the chat. So big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well. Guys, I'm doing a giveaway on Twitter. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. If you want to win, I'm giving away 2 codes for FC25, PS5 edition, Ultimate Edition. So I got 2 codes to give away courtesy of EA Sports. So if you want to win that, I'm going to drop the tweet I always do this by FC25 giveaway. I'm going to drop the tweet in the chat. Make sure you guys go and check it out. If you've got a PS5, if you want to win it, on behalf of someone else, go over and check it out. All you have to do really is just retweet the tweet and follow me. That's it. A nice simple giveaway. And my people I know are shameless. They're asking me to fix it for them. I'm not going to do that. We played well during the FA Cup final, but yeah, I agree. It's been poor. Big up to Lil Yo-Yo in the chat. I'm talking about, when I talk about like how United have been playing under Erik ten Hag, I'm just talking about the consistency. Because I feel like Man United, the one form of consistency that Manchester United have had under Erik ten Hag is consistently shit. That's what they've been for a period of time. Let's be honest. They've been consistently shit. And the fact that Manchester United last season had the season that they had, I can't remember. How many games did we lose? 14 in the Premier League? 14, I think we lost. Manchester United are yet to crack the 60-goal mark in the Premier League under Erik ten Hag. Like, they are yet to crack the 60-goal mark in the Premier League under Erik ten Hag. Is that not a red flag? Is that not a red flag? Flex said it recently. The last time we played well was Barca 2023. That's over 18 months ago. And how is that normal? Wa alaikum salam, Zahid. I hope you're doing well. How is that normal, guys? That for 18 months, Manchester United have not had a consistent run of games. The last time Man United won 3 games, I think, in a row in the Premier League, guys, we beat Luton 1-0, we beat Fulham 1-0, and we beat Everton 3-0. That's it. That was last year. 3 games in a row. We just scraped Luton and we just scraped past Fulham. I know, I'm sure, I don't know. Maybe you lot don't agree with me. Would you take consistently good football in the league that kind of brings you back, like, kind of claw back points every season to kind of get higher up in the table? Would you take that over winning a Carabao Cup? Because we can go back to the interview of Ollie, where he was saying winning cups kind of masks over anything in the league, and the best way to identify if you're playing good and you're improving is your league finish year on year. Because I agree, if you are like, look at Arsenal, for example. I have this debate with Arsenal fans all the time, and I said this year is the year Arsenal, you guys have to win the league. You guys have to win the league, because every year saying, oh, we're getting closer to first, we're getting closer. We had, in Arteta's first year, we had something X number of points, and then we gained another 10, and we gained another 10, and we gained another 10. At some point, you have to win the league, right? But for them, that's progress. That is progress, and that is evidence that they set up good enough in the Premier League to be consistently good. It trickles into other competitions. You lot saw Arsenal yesterday. PSG turning up with Luis Enrique could not do anything for the first 50 minutes. And Arsenal, when they defend, can I actually say, and this is actually me giving props to Arsenal, they defend very well. And yesterday there was particular moments that PSG had. I knew they would never score because they had that guy up front, Kolo Muani, who is the worst. Man United dodged a bullet the day that we did not sign him from Frankfurt. Between him and Rasmus Højlund, Man United dodged a bullet, because that guy, if there was anyone that plays more like a pro club's character, it's him. He's the worst striker that I've seen, like, in the flesh. He's so bad. Why can't we do both? Ain't that hard, surely? I think finding the balance between improving in the league and winning the cups. It's about squad depth. I think that's the most important thing. But I think the biggest part is about the tactical side of it. I think the tactical side of it is very, very big as well. Just some other information on Erik ten Hag. Fabrizio Romano was reporting earlier this afternoon that the games between Porto and Aston Villa will be very crucial for Ten Hag's future. The United hierarchy want to see a big reaction in terms of performance and results. So it's not just about the result that they want to see a difference in, but it's also in the performance. And I feel like with Erik ten Hag, this might be the game where he throws in the people that he thinks will win him the game. Maybe there are people we've seen been benched over the last couple of games or not really play that much. It could be people that, he might not feel are up to par with what he wants to do. But let's be honest, guys. Let's really be really honest, yeah. Do any of you guys believe truly that Erik ten Hag's system can win you over? And I just want a yes or a no from you lot. Do you guys genuinely think that the system that Erik ten Hag is building can win you over? Because for me, you lot know where I stand. I think it's a flawed system. I've said this time, and I remember last year saying it. It's a flawed system. It's difficult to buy into as a fan. So I can imagine how hard it is to buy into as a player. And I'm actually sick of this notion that we hear quite often, guys. Don't let the players win. The players are going to get another manager sacked. Half of the team is his own it's his own players that he signed. It's a lot. Like, I think Erik ten Hag has been the most backed manager out of all managers post Sir Alex Ferguson. Let's be real, guys. Which manager got his first or second choices? Which manager consistently spent 200 million every window? Every summer window? What manager? Jose, I don't remember doing it. I don't remember Jose doing it. Van Gaal, I don't remember doing it. Oli, I remember him spending, but I don't remember him getting his first, second, or third choice. I remember him getting his final choice. I don't remember any manager that's consistently got the opportunity to spend 200 million each window. Why would he go away from a tactic that worked against City and try this Jimbo Jumbo football again? All-out attack thing does not work in football. Personally, for me, what he's trying to build with Manchester United is, and I've spoken to Marcel about it quite often, right? I've spoken with Marcel. I've actually not heard from him, guys, since that game. But I saw him drunk on Saeed's channel the other day, so he's clearly alive and well. But I remember we used to have this conversation about his philosophy and his style, and Marcel kind of suggested to us, I don't know if you lot remember, turnovers. That's what we used to hear a lot, turnovers. But for me, if you have to put yourself in a situation to win a 50-50 duel when you have possession of the ball, your system's shit. Why do you have to? It's basically like saying, here, I got a coin, guys, but I'm going to flip it. And if I get heads, you keep the coin. And if I get tails, I keep the coin. It's my coin anyway. So why am I now going to flip it to do a 50-50 thing to see who gets to keep the coin? I can just keep the coin and put it in my pocket. For me, simple. And that's the same with Erik ten Hag's system. There is a lot of times where players opt to go long. And for me, I think that's an instruction. The way that Manchester United are set up, they have their 3-2-5. They have the staggered 5 up front. They go long. They will have Dalot jumping in the air. You will have Rashford jumping in the air. Maybe Joshua Zirkzee or Højlund jumping in the air. And they will press for the second ball. They'll press for the recovery. They'll press to win the turnover. But you are just winning your own turnover because you just turned the ball over. For me, it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. Stick to the 4-2-4 press. Even the press, right? I think Erik ten Hag's press is good. The idea of his press is good. It's a good one. But actually implementing it is unrealistic. I think actually implementing it is unrealistic. I think when it's a I'm about to sneeze. Oh my God. When it's a disintegrated press, the press ain't going to work. Because if you're pressing half this way and you ain't pressing on the right properly, you're getting caught out. You're getting caught out. And we could actually go back, right, to that first goal United conceded against Spurs. That first goal that Manchester United conceded against Spurs, if you guys remember, right? Rashford is running with the ball, and I don't know how Rashford actually got blamed for it. I actually don't know how Rashford gets blamed for it, because he's running. He's about to lose the possession, and he kind of kicks it out as a pass to Garnacho. Garnacho moves away from the ball. I don't know if you guys remember this goal. The first goal when Mickey van der Ven ran 5,000 billion meters long of the pitch. Garnacho ran away from the ball. And all I see is people butchering Rashford for that. But even then, that's an example of losing the ball to try and win a 50-50 ball. It doesn't make sense. How can I forget? Sorry, Yo-Yo, you had 3 hours. You had a 3-hour drive back to think about that goal. Also, to be fair, we had some pretty tough fixtures. This is the best run of fixtures that Manchester United have had, yeah, for the season. I promise you, the season's only going to get worse. I promise you, are you telling me Man United had Southampton, FC 20, Barnsley, Crystal Palace, and then Spurs in September, and Liverpool at the beginning? This was, for me, the best run of games that Manchester United could have. Do you know why? Because the fixtures, they only get worse. They only get worse. Tomorrow, Man United have Porto, right? Then Villa, come back from international break. It's Brentford, Fenerbahce. Jose Mourinho might put the nail in the coffin for Erik ten Hag. Like, I genuinely think he might take that day personal. If Manchester United are still losing games or drawing games, dropping points, by the time it gets to Fenerbahce away, 24th of October, he is going to stand on the touchline in Turkey with a suit on, wearing all black, because he's turning up to Ten Hag's funeral, and he's going to put the nail in the coffin. I'm not even joking. I'm not joking. I hope, for Erik ten Hag's sake, that he starts winning. I hope he starts winning. But anyway, after Fenerbahce, West Ham away, Leicester City at home, Chelsea at home, Man United versus was Panathinaikos, Leicester City. Why have we got Leicester City twice? Oh, Carabao Cup, and then in the league. Ipswich Town, that's actually a good. This is actually, November is actually a decent run of games for United. They got Chelsea, Panathinaikos, Leicester at home, Ipswich Town away. Ipswich Town is not going to be an easy game. Bode at home, Everton at home. That's a decent run of games in November. That is a decent run of games. Garnacho doesn't run from the ball. He tries to match the run on Rashford, but both don't try to run back. We could also turn around and say, do they have to try and run back, given the fact that 90% of the team is behind them? Bruno ran straight fast, but Bruno just let him glide straight past him. Ugarte, for me, I don't know, guys. I have my thoughts of Ugarte. You don't know, I have my opinions of him. I was never really fond of the idea of Man United signing Ugarte, but god damn, do we have? Oh my days! Yeah, that's all I have to say. I'm gonna go to the Chelsea game and watch that abuse as well. I need to decide what United game I'm gonna go to when I come back from my holiday. I'm definitely gonna go to a Europa League game. And I need to decide what other game that I'll probably go to as well. Let me see what you lot are saying in the chat. When Arsenal don't win the league at the third attempt and get knocked out of Europe, it will be the beginning of the decline because of form, injuries, confidence, and luck will evaporate. I hear it. But for me, I've kind of said it. Yeah, I've said it. This is the year Arsenal have to win it. Are you telling me City have lost Rodri? Okay, Arsenal have lost Odegaard. But Bukayo Saka, for me, is in the form. That guy is in the form of it. He's such a selfless player. Sometimes I wish he was more selfish. I wish he was more of a stat pad merchant and get goals. He's always trying to find his teammates. Man United would be very lucky. Listen, guys, this is a safe space. Man United would be very lucky to have Bukayo Saka on the right-hand side. Like, they'd actually be like, he's ridiculously good. The world of right wingers right now is in safe hands. I'm not being funny. You're telling me Bukayo Saka, what's his name? Lamine Yamal, Mohamed Salah. Who else you got? In Rafinha. You got who else? Rodrigo. He doesn't really play as right winger, but still. But a minute, we have Saka at home in Amad Diallo for me. Kudus, Palmer, yeah, that's true. The world of right wingers is in safe hands right now. The world of right wingers is in safe hands. Big up to Fat4 in the chat. I hope you're doing well, man. It's been a minute. I haven't seen you on the streams. Minna, is managerial candidates part of today's topic? It is. I'm just trying to bring it up on the screen because I've just lost my tab somewhere, guys. My mouse battery stopped working, and now I have to use the touchpad, and I hate it. I hate it. These are the names that are being mentioned, guys, as part of the potential. And this is coming from Muppeteers, so we're going to take it with a pinch of salt. We're going to take it with a pinch of salt, guys. Kieran McKenna, Xabi Alonso, and Ruben Amorim, the guy who tried to get the West Ham. This is the guy that fumbled the Liverpool job, right? Liverpool wanted him, and then he went behind their backs and met with West Ham, so they went and just offered to slot the job. They said the interview's cancelled. Ineos will also like to assess managers such as Inzaghi, Iriola, and I don't even know how to pronounce this name, guys, bro. Guys, how the hell do you pronounce that name? Sebastian. I'm looking at that and thinking, is that... Guys, how the hell do you pronounce that? Hoene. Honus. Oh, that's an S. Oh, yeah, because it's like Pascal Gross, right? Because Pascal Gross has that in his name as well. Okay, cool. Makes sense. Sebastian Honus. Just for the sake of that name, I hope he doesn't become our manager. People are going to take the piss out of us. People will actually take the piss out of us. So these are the names for the managerial candidates. And like I said, guys, earlier in the stream, right? Until Erik ten Hag starts winning games, this is all the news that we're going to keep hearing about. This is all the news that we are going to keep hearing about every single time. I'm going on holiday on Sunday afternoon. I'm going to take my equipment, some of my equipment, my mics, my lights, camera, all of that stuff, so that I can record whilst I'm away. Because if Man United lose tomorrow or they draw or lose to Villa, I will be very shocked if I return from my holiday and Ten Hag is still in the job. I would never take a Liverpool ex-player as our manager. I hear it. Me, I got a rule. I'll go watch football in any stadium. Like, I'll go to any football game anywhere in the world except for Liverpool and City stadiums, unless Man United is playing. Matt Bubsy play for Liverpool. What are the chances we can get Xabi? Lol. Honestly, I think he's inexperienced for United anyway. Inexperienced how? He went unbeaten in Germany. He went unbeaten. Winning the league unbeaten is one thing, yeah? But to be unbeaten in every competition until the final of Europa League, that's crazy. I don't think he's inexperienced, but also, I think what you mean is maybe like he hasn't been managing for a long time. But sometimes you don't need to be a manager for 10 years to be a good manager. You don't need that. You do not need that. Bro went undefeated and people still waffling. Yeah, I don't agree with the... Who's got more experience? Him or Ruud van Nistelrooy? Given the fact that he's won silverware in his first year coaching, like major coaching. He's won a league title. Bayer Leverkusen, when was the last time they won the league title before he came? I wouldn't say he's inexperienced. Now, this is actually a good list of names. I'm not gonna lie. This is a good list of names. Why am I the only guy who wants Gary O'Neill? I really like how his team's played at Bournemouth, now Wolves. Yeah, Wolves look all right. They look all right, but are they not rock bottom of the league? Are they not literally rock bottom of the league? Earlier, this was reported. I'm just like, good riddance. I'm like, good riddance. Melissa Reddy was saying that Manchester United are aware appointing Gareth Southgate as a manager would not be well received by the fan base. Now, it does sound like Ineos are quite keen on keeping the fan base happy to an extent. Like, I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's my delusion, but I do feel like fan opinion matters to them when it comes to decisions, especially because of how open they've been with communication. Omar Barada has written to the fans, twice. They've had meetings with the supporters trust. Dan Ashworth has written letters to the fan base. I feel like they're quite open with their form of communication between themselves and the fans. I do think they definitely value what the fans have to say. But for me, the only way I see Gareth Southgate becoming Manchester United manager is purely if he's there to be the good vibes coach. You know, the coach that brings the good vibes, the one that gets along with all the managers, the manager, sorry, that gets along with all the players. That's it. It's supply teacher vibes. Yeah, this is a perfect. You don't know I like analogies here on the channel, right? You know when you have like, say, 2 English teachers. Say I have an English teacher, right? My English teacher is out of school today. She's not at work. And so the teacher next door is my substitute teacher for the day. She's got her own class, but she's coming to be a supply teacher. And she gets along with all the students. She's cool, but I know she ain't my teacher at the end of the day, so I can F about. That's what I feel like having Southgate would be like. I don't think he would be the guy that's the tactical mind behind everything. Don't get Gareth. Bro, we don't want him. We don't want him. I haven't seen anyone that has said they want Gareth Southgate. I haven't seen anyone. But I do think that this is Southgate is the best England manager since Alf Ramsey, 2 finals. Listen, I'm not denying that he's done a good job with England, but heck, he should have won something with the talent that he had. You had Cole Palmer coming off the bench at the Euros. Are you taking the flipping piss? You benched Cole Palmer for Phil Foden. Are you taking the piss? But I think Southgate's been a good coach for England. I don't think so. I think so. Sorry, he's been a good coach for England, but that doesn't go to say you'll be a good manager in club football. Club football and international football, I think, is so different. I think it's so different. And I think that's why someone like Jose Mourinho hasn't branched out to international football yet. He could be waiting for the Portugal job. But personally, I think being good at club level doesn't mean necessarily you'll be good at international level. Oh, I don't know how the hell to use this laptop, guys. Let me just make this picture a bit bigger. With Xabi Alonso, we could have nowhere near the patience we'd have with someone with more experience. I don't think that's the case. Hamza says Southgate, he's not good enough for us. I don't think so at all. Pep let Palmer go for Foden though. Well, I don't know if you guys seen what Pep what Phil Foden, sorry, what Cole Palmer said in his interview with BBC Sport. He said his intention was never ever to leave City. He wanted to go out on loan. Imagine that. A player this good, he wanted to go out on loan, and City said that they weren't sending him on loan. So it's either he stays and he kind of waits for his chance or he leaves. So he said he betted on himself and he just left. But he never wanted to leave. I think I don't know, because even Phil Foden still doesn't have a solidified role in the team. He's coming off the bench sometimes. Maresca, Company, and Motta aren't experienced, and it's working out. Facts. Look at Enzo Maresca. People were laughing at Chelsea when they appointed a championship level manager. And look how he's got Chelsea playing, guys. It might not be all dandy and pretty. And I think Chelsea still got kind of gaps in their team that they probably will improve in the next summer window. But let's be for real. What Enzo Maresca is doing with Chelsea right now, he's got the fans believing. He's actually got fans who have been in the mud for the last 2-3 seasons. They've been going through it. Chelsea fans are happy again. And not only that, when they drop points, when they draw or lose, guys, they walk away from it relatively optimistic that it's just a blimp kind of thing. Because they can see stuff. There is telling signs of what Enzo Maresca is doing. If you watch the game against Brighton, basketball, football, up and down the pitch, but Chelsea capitalized on the weakness that everybody knows Brighton has, which is a high line. And Nkunku didn't start, João Felix never came on. They played Nicholas Jackson and Speed on the wings. And you had Cole Palmer dropping so deep at some points. He was playing in like an 8 role, float into 10, float into the right-hand side. He was chilling. Let me see what you lot are saying. Southgate needed 3 games in a tournament to understand his midfield and could not find left-back from Premiership, Championship and League One. Bear in mind, I think Southgate also at England had favouritism. I think he had a lot of favouritism when it came to selecting his team. He wanted... this gimmick of Trent at central midfield, everyone knew it wouldn't make sense. I always say, play your players in their best positions, in their strongest positions. If there's any Liverpool fan in the chat, let me know. Because I think Trent, despite his defensive deficiencies he might have, his best position is on the right-hand side. It's not in central midfield. Back to build up isn't his forte, in my opinion. It took Southgate how long to use that? How long to do that? By the way, apparently Trent is getting a new contract. Apparently Mohamed Salah is set to leave Liverpool, and they're going to give Trent a new contract that makes him the highest paid player at Liverpool, and it's going to keep him there till 2028, I think. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Maresca, Hansi Flick, Slot have their teams playing the way they want within 2 months, and this Erik ten Hag has had 3 years. I think that's what people look past. Who's been timed out? Why did he get timed out? Sorry, let me scroll up. Let me scroll up. I might have to go into the back end. We deserve better. I'm sorry. You deserve better. I can't see that he's been timed out. Let me go. I need to quickly check in the back end. Never rated Trent. Don't get the hype. Sorry. I don't agree. For me, I think Trent is generational. Oh my God, guys. It's the birthday of my channel today, which is a lie. It's true, but it's also a lie at the same time. It is the birthday of my channel, but it's not the first time that it's not the date of my first upload, if that makes sense. Let me see if someone has timed out. We deserve better. I can't see him timed out. Yeah, I can't see him timed out. Minnie, your birthday lasts for months. No, I'm talking about my channel. Look, I just got the notification. Hooray, it's your channel's birthday. You've come so far. So it's my channel's birthday, guys. Don't be... Yeah, can any of the mods see timeouts? None of your comments are publishing. I don't know what's going on then. But let's quickly actually talk about Porto. Let's talk about tomorrow's game. This guy is going to have a little homecoming. I think people forget how many reunions that there's going to be for Manchester United in the Europa League, guys. There's going to be a lot of reunions across different... Panathinaikos, I think United will have... what's that kid? Shola Shorthow. At least Porto... Casemiro's ex-Porto. At least Porto don't have Mehdi Taremi. He got a goal and two assists in the Champions League yesterday. People were laughing at me when I said United should get him. Can I just say that? But anyway, here is the travelling squad to face Porto. We'll have our 3 goalkeepers. Our back line, Maguire is back after being out for injury. Martinez, Mazraoui, Lindelof, Evans, De Ligt, Dalot. We're going to get to Luke Shaw quickly. Malacia was seen in training today, but he's still a bit away from contact training. Midfielders, Casemiro, Toby Collier, Ericsson, Fernandez, Dan Gore is back with Manchester United, Kobbie Mainoo and Ugarte, and the forwards are Ahmad, Anthony, Garnacho, Højlund, Rashford, and Xerxes. 3 points. That's all I expect. I'm not even going to go into details of this is what I expect, blah, blah. Listen, just let the football do the talking. Diogo Dalot is joining Erik ten Hag for the press conference this evening. Don't talk too much in the press conference. Just say, we're going to let the football do the talking. Simple as that. That's all. I don't want to see anything else. I don't want to hear about, oh, we need to learn from our mistakes. Oh, we need to learn how to play away from home. Blah, 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 blah. All of that nonsense. I don't want to hear any of it. Just a simple, keep the press conference nice and simple. In terms of what Porto might play with, I'm going to an event tomorrow at Football Manager as well. So I'm going to have to watch the game virtually on my phone. Where are United in the Europa League table right now? We are 21st! So if it stays like this, we go up. But quickly, just on Luke Shaw, guys. Am I the only person that feels like Manchester United should terminate Luke Shaw's contract? I actually think that Manchester United should do that. They should. Okay, we can talk about loyalty. We can talk about a long-standing servant, blah, blah, blah. But let's be honest, guys. He got fit. He sat out a duration of the end of the season. Yeah? February was the last time he played for Man United. February was the last time he played. He sat out until the Euros. Got fit for the Euros. Came back injured and has relapsed. Just terminate his contract. I'm sorry. Just terminate it. Thank you for your service, 10 plus years. You've been a good servant. But Man United need to accept. And if they want to be serious, from time Sir Jim Ratcliffe made a joke about it when they were wishing luck to the England team. And he said, don't pull your hamstring. What happens? He gets injured. He gets injured after the Euros. And I said this during the summer. leading up to the Euros. I said it's an absolute embarrassment on Manchester United as well as Luke Shaw that he's gotten fit for the Euros and they've allowed him to go. Obviously, they can't come out and say you can't go. But for me, that just shows me what you're about as a club when you watch him sit out for nearly 6 months and get fit quickly for the Euros. And I understand the Euros is a once every 4 years thing, playing for your national team, la-di-da-di-da-di-da. But I'm sorry, that shows to me that he can force himself. And even so, I don't think he forced himself because he didn't really actually play for England until the knockout stages. And he never started a game until the finals. And reportedly, he was taking injections throughout the entire time. But even that, you're willing to risk yourself like that for your country. Okay, cool. Terminate your contract. His contract ends, if I'm not wrong, let me just double check. I think it's 2027. I actually think it's 2027. Let's see. Yeah, 2027. 2027, guys. Do you know how long away that is? That is a long way away. That's 3 seasons left. Well, including this season, that's 3 seasons left of him. For me, it's not just about the Euros or just this year. It's simply been 10 years of him being more injured than not. Man United fans ripped into Paul Pogba, to Martial. They ripped into so many players. Rafael Varane, our best centre-back in how long? And we're happy to sit back and let Luke Shaw stay home all day. I'm sorry, Manchester United, yeah. Ineos, if you want my respect, I don't think Ineos care about my respect, right? But if you want my respect and you want my ratings, yeah, terminate his contract. Pay him out. Pay him out of whatever his contract is. Terminate it. Let him find a new club. Do you think he would find a new club? Martial is gone to play in where? Where's Martial gone to play? Mexico or something. I can't even remember where he's gone. But he's gone to outside of Europe. Outside of Europe. Rafa Varane really had the only other choice he had was to go to Como, newly promoted team, and then he had to basically his contract got terminated because he couldn't stay fit. Greece. Oh, there you go. Greece. He's gone to Greece. Varane was the one making Martinez look good. Kadeem, I 100% agree. He ain't got the Mamba mentality. Facts. Is it Greece that he went to? Why did I think he went to like some? He's at AEK Athens. Okay. Predictions. Anyway, that's just my thought on Luke Shaw, and it's nice to see a lot of you guys actually feel the same kind of sentiment. But predictions on tomorrow's score. I don't know, man. Is it a cop-out if I say 1-1? Is it a cop-out if I say 1-1 United are going to draw? I think that is a bit of a cop-out, given the fact that United don't win away from home. They don't really win away from home. Let's look at Porto's last couple games, because I know they lost last week to Bode, whatever their name is. Let's see them. At least they can score goals. Fuck. Excuse my language. We can't score goals. They won 4-0 on the weekend. They lost last week in the first week of Europa League. They lost 3-2. The week before that, 3-0 they won. Week before that, 2-1. The last time they lost in the league was to Sporting, 2-0. Before that, 2-0 they won. They won 2-0 again, 3-0. They score. Guys, they average 2 goals a game. They actually average at least 2 goals a game. Oh, for fuck's sake, man. 6-2 Porto. Damn. Oh, it's the pie that's in Brazil. Okay, I knew someone from that used to play for United was in Brazil. Away game, I think we'll be in trouble. I knew you were trouble when you walked in. What song is that? Taylor Swift. Let me see what you got. 4-0. 3-1. 3-1. Thank you, MA. At least someone's predicting a win. At least someone's predicting a flipping win. XG, mate. Yeah, let's go off of XG. If we go off of XG, then yeah, maybe we're on par with Porto if we were to go off of XG. Sheila says we can't score, so I honestly think we lose. Honestly, I think back to the beginning of the season, guys. We're talking about how many goals United will score in the Premier League, right? Do you not remember? People were talking about 70, 80 goals. Wallahi, we're lucky if we get 60. We are lucky. We are so lucky. 2-1 win. 2-1 win. Okay, I could get behind that. But I can't because who's going to score? Let me see what lineup Porto actually play. All right, 4-0 win on the weekend. Oh my God, they got that guy up front. Oh my God, guys, the striker that they have up front, yeah, Omorodian, if I butcher his name, baller. Is this? Oh, I thought they had Nicolas Pepe on right wing. They had a guy called Pepe. I thought it was Nicolas Pepe. They got Diogo Costa in goal. They got Varela in midfield. Porto actually have a decent team. They got Nico Gonzalez. They've got a young midfield. And they play something similar to what United play. They play a 4-2-3-1. The Chelsea bottle job. Yeah, that's him. That's him. But he's actually been bagging goals for them, you know. He's actually been bagging goals for them this season so far. Let me see how many goals he's on. Because, listen, if Solanke could net against United, shit. Scary hours. Scary hours. But they've got a decent team. 4-2. Okay. If we win, it's 1-0. An obvious 4-0. An obvious 2-0 loss. He's in form, isn't he? Yeah, I think he's got like 5-6 goals for them this season. And their president is Andre Villas-Boas. That's crazy. That's so random. That's so random. We have one away win this season. Don't remind us. Don't remind us. I'm gonna go with a draw. I'm gonna take a cop out. Yeah, guys, call me a cop out. Call me a fence sitter. I'm going with a draw. Simple as that. I really hope United can win, but I just don't see it happening. But I'm being as realistic as possible, and I'm saying we get a draw at least. He scored 5 in 5 this season. He's scoring. Yeah. I'm going to start a show where you invite guests from football YouTube. You barely do that. Who do you want to see me bring on? Let me know who you want me to bring on the channel. And it can be United. It can be non-United creators. Let me know. I'm trying to think of people. Normally, I just get simple people on. I bring on Saeed, Marcel. I've had Liban on here once or twice. I had Sharky on here once. Flex and KG are too busy for me, man. They're too cool for me. KG is too cool for me. I shouldn't say that. Haj, KG. There's so many content creators. There's so many Man United content creators. I have to bring on people that kind of balance out the views of, like, that counter my views and that are not like blasphemous, if that makes sense. Get Musa. Okay, yeah, Musa I can get on. KG would turn up. He wants you to join his club's team. What? I ain't heard that. Yeah, next time KG's live, say make sure you lot spam in the comments saying turn up to Mina's show. I'll get Musa on. I'll get KG on. Where's Marcel? Ain't seen him in time, guys. I will show you lot, yeah. Let me show you guys. This guy's been ducking me for ages. Like, look at this. All of it's me messaging him. What's that? Friday, 13th September. He sent me a voice note. I replied back with a voice note. He didn't reply back. Monday, I messaged him saying, yo, are you free today? Let me know. Didn't reply back. He's hiding. He's in hiding. He is in hiding. Yeah, I ain't spoken to him. But I seen what he's been saying on Twitter. Ten Hag. He's turned on Ten Hag. He's turned on Bruno. Oh, man. How about a lady show? Good one. That's a good idea. I can't believe he was drunk on Saeed's show. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know until I was watching it. And I was like, this guy, I was like, this guy sounds drunk. And then he was drunk. Shout out to him. Okay. Erik Ten Hag has him drinking. Do you know how crazy that is? Sophia, Alice. I've had Sophia on the show, I think. I've had her on my channel before. But I'll look into getting her on. I might get Staffy on. Staffy's cool. Staffy's a cool guy. So I might get him on. Listen, guys, make sure you hit the like button if you haven't. He's on Mandem Talk right now. Okay, I need to go watch that. But make sure you hit the like button, guys. If you haven't, go over to my Twitter, guys. There's my at. Go on to my Twitter. I'm giving away 2 codes. FC25 PlayStation Ultimate Edition. So make sure you go onto my Twitter so you can find out how you can win that. And I'll be back tomorrow, inshallah, God willing. You can get Joe Blackman and Lil Yo-Yo on. Message me, guys. You guys are always welcome. I need to do a call-in show. But make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe on your way out. I'll be back tomorrow with Minna's State of Mind after the Porto game, and 5 in 5 will drop after the game as well. But make sure you hit the like button on your way out. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And if there's anything of news worth going live for, I will go live, guys. Have a wonderful one. I'm out. Peace.